I've got to get back on TV. They think I'm Gene Rayburn.
No, you do have a new show coming out.
I have a new show. It's called Third Degree. It's from Bert and Bert. Those guys are so rich.
Yeah.
And Warner Brothers and Richard Klein, and it's a terrific new show called Third Degree. It's a panel show, and I hope you'll be watching it. We'll be on in September.
TV game shows are some of the most lucrative programs on the air, and the paychecks taken home by their hosts prove it.
I would say that most game show hosts who have 2 shows would make more than $1 million.
Tonight on Evening Magazine, a surprising glimpse behind the scenes where a host can make or break a show, and our struggles are the name of the game.
Oh, what game should we play?
That plastic personality may fit most people's impressions of the typical game show host, and for years it might have been close to the truth.
If you want to take that 1,000 and spin that wheel, you could end up with what's behind curtain number 1, and there's that...
Even Monty Hall, for 20 years considered king of the game shows on Let's Make a Deal, says he felt like a second-class star.
That stereotyping worked against me for years and years and years. And that's why I'm glad to see Pat Sajak go on a late-night talk show. You see, we're more than just smiling fellas on a game show, or someone once described us as mindless, the mindless MCs of the game shows, a newspaper man. That hurts.
The social snubs may hurt, but most game show hosts have learned to grin and bear it because the cash they give away is nothing compared to the cash that they take home.
$5,000 more, and we're going to come right back.
I would say that most game show hosts who have 2 shows would make more than $1 million. I'm not saying that about me.
Top hosts like Bob Barker, Alex Trebek, Chuck Woolery, or Pat Sajak can expect to make between $1 and $2 million a year for a little more than 2 months' work. Hosts can command such sums mainly because of the astronomical profits their shows pull in, profits in excess of $100 million a year.
Game shows are one of the most, if not the most, profitable forms of television.
That pot of gold is proving to be an irresistible lure to a new breed of would-be hosts who are getting up lucrative careers to take a shot at the big time. Rob Weller, for 5 years the host of the mega-hit Entertainment Tonight, replaces Bert Convy on Win, Lose, or Draw this fall.
All right, good job. Good job.
It's a very sought-after job. It's a very sought-after job. I mean, you go in on a Saturday and a Sunday, you tape 5 shows on Saturday, you tape 5 shows on Sunday, you come back maybe 2-3 weeks later, do another 5. That's it. And for that, they bring in wheelbarrows of money and dump it in your dressing room.
Stay with us. We'll be right back to see how Larry does in the bonus round on Win, Lose, or Draw. Go away.
While it's all smiles on the surface, such high stakes can spark some brutal battles behind the scenes. In a complex last-minute shuffle, Win, Lose, or Draw producers Convy and Burt Reynolds moved Convy over to their new show, Third Degree, to make room for Weller, but bumped veteran Peter Marshall in the process. Marshall, who is suing Burt and Burt for more than $1 million, isn't talking, but his old friend Monty Hall called it dirty pool.
You made the pilot, you're a star, you went to the convention, you sold it to the stations, you were the figurehead. And all of a sudden, because of some things that are happening under your control, they dump you.
Convy insists it's all a big misunderstanding.
Peter Marshall was my idea to do this show. Through circumstances which I can't elaborate on now, we had to make a change, but Peter's a good friend, and we'll be good friends again. As soon as Peter finds out what it's all about, he just doesn't know, that's all.
So, beneath that polished surface, hosting a game show can be a prickly business. The job obviously requires more than a pleasant personality and a pretty face. Former footballer Rolf Benirschke had both of those when he was picked to take over for Pat Sajak on Wheel of Fortune. But Benirschke lasted only 2 months before being pulled from the show, which was taking a dive in the ratings and was eventually canceled by NBC.
Why isn't Rob Weller going to be Rolf Benirschke? Oh, I think experience. And experience is the greatest value that you can get. I'm lucky. I've had, 12 years in the biz, and it makes a big difference.
You might think making it into the rarefied ranks of game show hosts would be reward enough, but insiders say the really big prize is producing.
I've been an employee for a long time, and if you ever get in a position where you can own the store, I think you have to try it.
Most successful hosts have managed to parlay their winnings into a piece of the action, but they say money isn't everything.
The best thing about all of this is that we sit around in this office and say, what if, which is the best phrase there is.
But then, some see game shows as just one rung on the career ladder.
Mike Wallace was, a game show host. Hugh Downs was a game show host. If those guys can do it and still go on and do other things, I don't think there's any trap in being a game show host. And if that's my life for the next 10 or 12 years in this business, hey, so be it. It ain't the worst thing in the world, I'll tell you that.